Outside of Africa, we tell you that Israel and Iran exchanged direct fire in an unprecedented escalation, with Israel launching a massive aerial assault early on Friday that struck Iran's Natanz nuclear facility and killed senior commanders, including Mohammad Bagheri and Hussein Salami. Iran responded with waves of drone and missile attacks, killing 3 and injuring dozens in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Despite fears of a wider conflict, some Iranians have vowed to stay. In the meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to strike every target of the Ayatollah regime in Iran as Israel's air campaign against Iranian military and nuclear sites enters its second day. In a video message released on Saturday, Netanyahu declared that Israeli aircraft will soon be seen in the skies over Tehran, emphasizing that every site and every target will be hit. He claimed that Israeli strikes have already dealt a real blow to Iran's nuclear program since operations began on Friday. To discuss this, we are joined by our Global Affairs Analyst Ejike Okpa. Mr. Okpa, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, Israel has been accused of launching premeditated attacks on Iran when a room for negotiations is in the offing. But then, is the preemptive strike justified over the nuclear program?
You know, what's been going on between, is there an echo? What's been going on between Israel and Iran is just this cat and mouse, game. And the U.S. is having a conversation with Iran that is stalled, and then all of a sudden there's an attack. It's the killing of, Iranian top officials, and then in retaliation, Iran is sent their own missiles. So, preemptive on what side? Both sides, are justified in their own actions. But the thing is it necessary? And depending on the audience you're asking them, I said, yeah, every country has the right to defend itself. But that right to defend yourself has to be put in context, in terms of, can we delay this for a moment? And see what happens. Obviously, there's ego, there's impatience, and then that region is now poised. It's like a keg of gunpowder. You don't know what's going to touch it off, and then all of a sudden, you see escalation, beyond the two countries. So we're hoping again, on a previous interview I did, I said, let's see what happens this weekend. If by Monday there'll be some signs. But obviously, everybody's geared up for something. And if what the Prime Minister of Israel has said, they're going to hit everything in Iran, all the targets, you can expect there's going to be a bigger conflict going on. That's going to draw other countries, but formally, and then some other sympathizers who are just going to join in and I want to, see how they can inflict, damage on both sides. It could be through terrorist attacks, and that terrorist attacks is not going to just be limited to geography. It can be they can even try to do something in America or in England or anywhere they think is sympathizing or supporting Israel. So, everybody's on edge, and we're just going to see what happens.
It's quite interesting, though, because both countries have uranium and nuclear arsenals. Iran is a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, but Israel is not. So who is more of a nuclear threat between the two?
Well, it's a good question. The point is that it's not what you have, it's how responsible are you to what you have. I guess, in the eye of the world, Israel is a more responsible nation because, they sit in the middle of countries that don't like them. And as a result, they get this goodwill. They don't have to be, because if they will be limited to what they can do. And then Iran somehow has gotten this level on itself as a rogue nation, and then so everybody's calling on them to step it down and be more responsible. But again, every nation, based on their sovereign right, is entitled to defend themselves. But at the same time, while you're doing it, you have to look at the consequences of any action. It's not just between the two fighting that. It could escalate to more into a regional thing, and then the whole world is going to be drawn into it. There's always going to be, a side for and a side against, and it's very unfortunate. And I don't have a magic wand as to what's going to bring peace to that region, but it's very, very uncalled for. President Trump has said things, say, hey guys, stop this. But at the same time, he's not going to be very vocal against Israel because, America is Israel's biggest supporter. And until that support is sort of, tamed or sort of reduced, and nothing is gonna happen. Because, Israel is encouraged by the support they get from the U.S.
But we are still not even sure what stand U.S. has on this, because the president at some point had given a thumbs up for the attack. Later on, it dissociated itself from the attack and all that. But that's another story that we are going to dwell on as long as this tension continues to escalate in the Middle East. Thank you so much, Ejike Okpa, for sharing your insights with us.